Good morning, everyone, and thanks for tuning in to Channel 5 News. I'm Kaylee Scruggs, and today we're talking about immunizations and infectious diseases. The overall goal, according to Healthy People 2020, is to increase immunization rates and to decrease the number of preventable infectious diseases. Our very own Sarah Sims is at the medical center interviewing Dr. Ashley Schell. We go to her live right now.
Thank you, Kaylee. We're here with Dr. Ashley Schell. So, how do vaccines work in the body exactly?
Well, vaccines work by you injecting yourself with an inactive form of a virus. That way that your body can build up antibodies against the specific disease or illness.
So your body will essentially be prepared?
Yes.
Okay. And I've been hearing this phrase, herd immunity. What exactly is that?
Herd immunity protects not only yourself, but everyone around you. Say that someone can't be vaccinated. Essentially, they would be protected too because there will be nobody else to pass the disease or illness on to them.
So could you give specific examples of people who cannot be vaccinated for some reason?
Some people are just allergic to certain vaccination. There are people who are have cancer or are immunocompromised, so they can't get the vaccination. So this would protect them as well.
Well, are there certain times when people would need to get specific vaccines, and what are those vaccines?
Well, you want to make sure that your child is getting vaccinated for preventable diseases before they enter preschool or kindergarten, anywhere where they're going to be around a lot of other people. Well, the pertussis vaccine protects against whooping cough, and that is especially important for younger children, and you want to make sure that anybody that's going to come in contact with your child has the pertussis vaccine as well as your child.
Why should these specific vaccines be implemented, and why is it so important?
Well, we as physicians and nurses, we do highly recommend vaccination because according to Healthy People 2020, if we increase the number of vaccinations, then we are in turn going to decrease the number of very preventable diseases. And it's very disheartening whenever parents think they are protecting their children by not vaccinating them, whether they have seen online about autism or vaccines causing autism, which they actually do not, but it's very important for the public and these parents to be educated on how vaccines actually work. If they don't vaccinate their kids, they're exposing them to these diseases that can be very harmful and deadly.
Well, thank you so much for your time. Back to you, Kaylee.
Thank you, Sarah. Now we go to Caroline Singleton at the Warren County Elementary School.
Thanks, Kaylee. I'm here with nurse Annie Shuck, and she will be informing us on some of the most prevalent diseases in schools. So Annie, since you are an elementary school nurse, what have you found are the most detrimental diseases that can be prevented by vaccination?
One of the most easily prevented diseases is influenza. We see this very commonly within the school system, and the CDC estimates that as many as 80,000 people died last flu season from influenza or the related complications. As many as 20% of the whole US population get the flu, and it's easily preventable with just a shot, even though a lot of parents like to argue that, oh yeah, only 60% of vaccines can be effective, but that's because of the mutations within the virus.
And what are some side effects of these diseases?
Some of the most common complications that come with influenza are bronchitis, pneumonia, heart problems, and asthma flare-ups if there's an underlying condition.
Thanks, Ms. Shuck. Back to you, Kaylee.
Thank you, Caroline. Caroline did an interview last week with a CDC immunization researcher and coordinator.
So today we have a representative from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, Mr. Dylan Sexton. Why is there a threat of becoming infected with disease even if that disease had been eradicated in the United States? And what are some examples of a disease of this kind?
I'll start by giving the example on it. Polio is the greatest example of this, and mainly this is because of travel. In the case of polio, it was eradicated in the United States in 1979, but then in 1993 it made a return back to the United States. Mainly this is because of international travelers. When people from the United States travel abroad, they bring back disease with them, and foreign travelers entering the United States bring in diseases from their home countries with them. In order to completely eradicate polio, we would have to also eradicate it in the free countries where it's still active.
And how can immunization play a role in totally eradicating certain diseases worldwide?
We would have to see an international immunization effort with all countries getting on board.
As you can see, immunizations are very important. We hope you learned a thing or two from this segment today. My name is Kaylee Scruggs, and thank you for watching Channel 5 News.